G'day everyone and welcome to Two Cousins One Chat. I'm Ben.
Hello, lovely listeners, and I'm Kristy. It's great to be in your ears for another episode, so thanks so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. It's going to be a top episode. I can just feel it, Kristy. Another fun episode from the funnest cousins in town.
Yes, it is. I've got the giggles too, so all right.
It's all that coffee you're drinking.
That's it.
Hey, it's pretty hot here in Adelaide. It's stinking
Yes, it
hot.
is. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's been like 37, 41. That's the kind of heat we're experiencing at the the moment. We got the
really
air conditioning like absolutely cranked. What about
Mm.
you guys? Are you
Yeah,
getting the
same.
same dusty hotness?
Yeah, it's been a bit humid actually, but today it was going to be really hot, and then they dropped it down to 34 or something. So
I dropped it down to 34. Thanks for that.
yeah, it's a bit cloudy. So I got up early, went for a swim, and it's Grand Prix here in Melbourne. So it's all the people that are in at the Grand Prix, and we've just had the fighter jets going overhead. So if you hear them, listeners, that's what they are. We're not under attack or anything. It's just the Grand Prix celebrations.
Do you reckon it's worth watching the Grand Prix? I've never watched it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's great. I think
Is it?
Melbourne is such a beautiful location for it. With they've got the beach and Albert Park Lake, and just looks absolutely sensational. So no, it's good. And we've got Oscar Piastri and Dylan's son in, and Oscar's a local boy. He's from just around this area, Bayside, Melbourne. Yeah.
People in Adelaide do get very annoyed when Melbourne people talk about the Grand Prix, but it's like, guys, it was literally 40 years ago.
Is
It's
that
time.
right?
No, is that right? No, it wasn't. It was probably like 30-ish, 32 or 33 years ago. Anyway, it was a long time ago, people. It's time to move on.
Yeah, so it's all happening here in Melbourne. So if you do hear something going overhead, it is just the fighter jets, but it's kind of calmed down a bit now. But it is busy. I love it Grand Prix time in Melbourne because everyone drives like they're a Grand Prix driver.
Including you?
Me.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just you.
Maybe it's just me, yeah. So what's happening in Adelaide, Ben? It's been super busy.
Goodness me, yeah. Well, Fringe is on, and it's not just Fringe, it's Adelaide Festival. And the Adelaide Festival includes WOMAD, which is huge, and which is a world music festival, which is brilliant. And we didn't go this year, but we've been many times before. But it also includes Writers' Week. So the Writers' Week was on as well, which is almost an outdoor event. It's really, really beautiful spot, actually.
Yeah.
You would know the spot on King William Road because they often have the TDU there, and also back in the day they did. So it's a sort of an outdoor event. That's been crazy. AFL is back, of course, to all of those people that love AFL, and there's some footy here in Adelaide this weekend. But Adelaide 36ers didn't make the NBL finals, basketball finals, but we are watching the championship series, which is Melbourne United and the Warra Hawks, and there's games in there's a couple of games already done. So look, there's just a lot going on, Kristy. What can I say?
It's super, super busy in Adelaide, and loving that the AFL is back. And I think Adelaide play St Kilda, which is my team, tomorrow.
Versus my team, yes, I know.
Adelaide, yeah, versus the Saints. So you're going?
Yeah.
You're going. Yeah.
Go Crows. Yeah, I'm going to go. But so I mean, I know that St Kilda was my pre-Adelaide Crows team, and I know that a lot of my family go to St Kilda games.
Favourite. It's
kind of my second team.
Yeah. So
it'll be a Adelaide lose, it will be. Yeah.
Adelaide won't lose. St Kilda will lose. St Kilda are just hopeless. All right.
Oh no, that's not good. I mean, it's not good for Saints. But
no, they haven't even played a game yet this season. I'm already calling them hopeless. No, hopefully they won't.
You've written them off.
Yeah.
Oh God! So what's been happening in your world, Kristy? What adventures have you been undertaking?
Oh my gosh! As always, there's been heaps happening. But before I crack on to some of these special secret messages I've got for you, Ben, I just wanted to give a shout out to Karen and Emily, who's from the Nil and Conniva Free Press. We recently celebrated our 50th episode, and they put a lovely article in the paper for us, which I think I shared online, then another one which we recently had with the CEO of the High Marsh High Council, Monica Revel. But we've had the most beautiful messages from our 50th episode, and I'm just going to keep rolling them out because they keep coming in. So I'm sharing the love. I'm not just keeping it to ourselves. So I think we've had some beautiful messages from my mum and Wendy Bywaters and
Tansy Forest,
and
Casey
Tansy.
Simons.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
many beautiful messages. Rachel Lynch.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so, yeah, we had some audio ones too. So thanks, guys. And also our cousin Adrian, he sent a really big, long one. It's in the
Did
text
he?
message. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I know he's listening. G'day, Big A.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's
But I
fantastic.
did want to touch on something with you, Ben. This week on campus, I saw Clint Eastwood again.
Again, he's on
Yes.
campus.
Yeah, he was crossing campus heading to the train station, and
He's got a score to settle. Ooh.
I'm coming from the train station to campus, so he's walking towards me. So this week I saw him, and I'm like, there he is, and he wasn't in a hurry. So, and then I chickened out. I didn't go up to him.
Oh,
So I need some confidence. I need your help. Help me, Ben.
you just need to go up to him and say, "Are you feeling lucky, punk?" or something like that.
Yeah. So
Probably messed that quote up. I think you could go up to him and say, "Look, this is not creepy, although you might think it is, but do you know, has anyone ever told you look just like Clint Eastwood?" People say those sorts of things to random.
Okay.
I think you're in the age bracket where it's okay to say random things to strangers.
Because I feel
shouldn't
like
say that, really.
I would go up to him and fluff it, like,
Okay.
"Hi, I'm Kristy, you like Clint Eastwood," and then I'd start laughing, and then I'm going to podcast and talk about you all the time. I don't know. So, yeah. Anyway, I need some help there, listeners. If anyone else can help me there, please help me connect with Clint.
Yeah, maybe you could just admire from afar and go, "There he is again. I'm just going to let him go about his day."
All right, yeah.
You could
Well,
just do that.
how about I tell you about the Kmart microwave toasty success that we've been
Please.
having at work. So Thursday mornings we have a toasty, right?
Mm.
So whoever wants to come along can come and have a toasty. We buy some bread, ham and cheese. That's all you need. There's this toasty maker that you buy from Kmart. It's $14.
Yeah.
Anyway, you put your bread in and then you seal it up. It's like in a really thick silicone cover.
Yeah.
You put it in the microwave for 1:30, turn it over, another 1:30, and then you open it up and it's like a beautiful toasty
In the microwave.
in the microwave.
How does it go crispy? I don't get
Well,
that.
inside the silicone cover is these metal coated plates, and they
Oh.
get really hot. And then
Oh.
the silicone keeps it from exploding. But then when you open it up, the cheese is all melted and the bread's toasted. It's the weirdest thing. You have to trust me on this.
So it actually heats up a little element inside the silicon thing.
Yeah, the plate.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do fry pan or press down cafe toasty thing. It's full on microwave, and this is good quality.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
So anyway, and we've gone gourmet. We've gone egg, ham, cheese. We've gone goat's cheese, ham, salami. Yeah, and then so there's a couple of us that do it, and I bought a fresh loaf of bread the week before and texted the girls. Oh, we've got a Teams chat. I bought some more bread, guys. It's in the freezer, so help yourself. But I'll see you next Thursday. So anyway, we this past Thursday, I went in and went to get all the ingredients out. Got a secret drawer in the kitchen.
Oh.
And anyway, the bread has gone from the freezer.
Oh, okay.
A whole loaf's been stolen.
Scandalous. It's not Clint Eastwood, is it? Oh my God.
And only staff can come into this place. So anyway, yeah, so someone's stolen our loaf of bread. So anyway, what we ended up doing was having dry biscuits with ham and cheese.
Oh no.
Just for breakfast. Not in the toasty, but just for breakfast.
Oh, that is a very sad alternative, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically that's what's happening on campus.
I'm going to try one of them. $14 from Kmart.
Check it out.
That's a great Tim Bone, if you're listening.
Don't. I'm too embarrassed to tell you.
Oh. Well, Tim listens to the show, and he's just opened up a little cafe shop front in Ballarat. He's like, "Kristy, you're going to put me out of business, man."
I'm going to go. I'm actually visiting Tim at Easter time, and maybe I should.
You're going to go and see him?
Yeah, I'm going to take the toasty.
He'd be like, "Get that thing out of my face."
He'll open it and slap it around the ears, like that.
Straight in the bin.
Oh, I know, yeah. So anyway, That is super, super funny. But
He couldn't fit his toasties inside this thing.
nah,
His toasties are epic. Yeah.
yeah, they're amazing. Oh my god, yeah, I'm definitely going to the Ballarat, as it's called. I'm going to
Fantastic.
do it at Easter time because I've got
Good on
like
you.
12 days off or something ridiculous. Because there's
Do it.
Easter, then there's 3 days, then there's Anzac Day.
Oh
So
yeah,
I've
that's
taken
right. It
those
all kind
three
of
extra. Yeah.
blends. Hey, Kristy, we're banging on a bit again.
Okay.
What are
Cool.
we
Cool.
doing? Yeah.
Okay, today we're talking about childhood adventures and the stuff we all got up to as kids. So we're taking a bit of a trip down memory lane today, and at the risk of sounding very, very old here. So you remember back in the olden days when we had no screens, there was no phones, no fancy gadgets. It was just pure, unsupervised fun in the streets or the backyards or the local parks. And growing up in my neighbourhood street, we had what was called the Nicholas Grove Gang, and there was a whole bunch of us kids, and we were always getting up to all sorts of fun and mischief in the streets. Whenever on the weekends or when we got home from school, we had a really big gang of kids of all ages, and everyone played really well together. So there was always kids around, and we made the most of it, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it does make you feel kind of old when you start
Mm.
to have these conversations. But you came up with this great idea. Why don't we talk about some of the things we did as kids? And also, we asked some of our friends and family. So we do have some
Yeah.
honourable mentions to, which are quite hilarious
Excuse me.
towards the end of the episode.
Yeah. So why don't we go through some of these games that we played as kids? Because I can guarantee you, Ben, a lot of people will be listening and nodding along, going, "I remember this. I totally remember
Yes.
this." So
And
how
you'll
about?
age yourself,
Oh,
won't you?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm totally aging myself. But you know what? I'm just embracing it because I know I'm getting older.
That's okay, but some things actually are universal. But I mean, some of the things we did. Now, I'm talking about back in the day in Morford Vale. So this is
Yep.
when I was really young.
Yep.
We all had bikes, so we would ride to school quite a lot. And we used to. There was a park through the alleyway, which was kind of like going to the other side of the universe. If you went through this alleyway, which is probably like 5 meters deep, long or something, and we'd go across into this park across the other side of the alley, and we'd ride our bikes a lot. That was something we did a lot, and we lived on a, you might remember, it was kind of a smallish, it was a bit of a hill, this street. And we'd have downhill bike races, so there was lots of bike riding, but in that street we had different yards, had different purposes. So
Yeah.
we lived on a corner. Our front yard was very long and narrow,
Yeah. Yes.
so we were the cricket pitch. So if you were coming to play cricket, you'd come to our house. Oh, I'm banging the table, getting fired
Yeah,
up.
that's
Sorry.
all right.
And then we had a couple of doors down. There was a swimming pool house, which we had a pool, but then these guys went full. They got the in-ground pool. So that was kind of like
Fancy.
we had an in-ground pool in the street, which was great. And then there was the hand tennis house a bit further up, which is handball these days. You've got the king, queen, jack, ace kind of squares.
Yep.
But there was lots of hanging out in the street. Yeah, but it sounds like you guys sort of formalized the whole thing, naming it and everything.
The gang, the Nicholas Grove Gang, and we got up to so much. We actually did heaps, and one of my personal favourites was roller skating on the footpath.
Oh yeah,
Right? Do you remember?
oh yeah.
And it was
Everyone had roller skates.
god, it was so good. And me and my bestie, we had roller skates. She had the fancy ones. I had the stolen ones
The
that looked like
stolen ones.
runners. One
Yeah.
minute you'd be cruising along, and then the next minute you'd hit a rock and you'd just go
Mm.
absolutely A over T. Or there would be uneven footpath, or a tree root sticking out. So yeah, that was always really funny. So yeah.
Yes. Oh, that was terrible. Yeah, I
Do you,
did that on my bike. I was
yes.
riding no hands,
Oh.
thinking I was really, really cool. And um, when in the 80s, you could get these grips. They're called Cobra grips. If anyone remembers the Cobra grips, the hand on the handles. And so, but
Yes,
the
I
bar,
do.
my front. Do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
My front bar was loose, and so I was riding no hands, thinking I was super super cool. And then I went to put my hands on the handlebar, and it was loose. So I just went. Speaking of going A over T, I
Oh,
just went
Ben.
and lurched forward. And I think I screamed so loud that the neighbour came out from the house next door,
Oh,
going, "What
Ben.
happened?" Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
there was some Dettol and hot water
Oh,
in a
dear.
bucket that came after
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
My younger brother, your cousin Anthony,
Oh yes, I know him.
he was so accident prone as a kid.
Was he?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
extremely. Anyway, he got his fingers
Oh no.
jammed in between the chain and the spoke and the
Oh
sprockety thing.
God.
Yeah, and he again was just a blood curdling scream. Neighbours ran out,
Oh.
had to like wind it out to get it out. Oh my god, he's still got
Oh.
mangled fingers, poor bugger.
Has he really?
Mm.
Oh, I'm very squeamish when people start describing things. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
it. I feel it.
Yeah, I've seen that firsthand.
Yeah.
All right. Ben, what about the brick and the tennis ball game? As me, I love tennis. We had
Yep.
I can't remember if it was like a pair of mum's stockings that you'd put the ball in the end and then tie that to a brick, or we had the tennis ball and then elastic around that, then tied to a brick, and then you'd hit you'd hit the tennis ball, and then it would come back at you, like 20 times
Yeah, right.
faster, and then
Yeah,
and then the boys would just try and hit the absolute cover off and try and wreck it for everyone, like boys
of
normally do,
course.
brothers do. And, I remember this one time, like, brother Brad would hit it and then it would just go flying over Neville's house, 4 houses away into the market gardens. You'd never see it again. So that was a good one. And then if a car came up the street, you'd have to take the brick and get it off the road and then,
Oh, you did it on the road?
on the road, yeah,
Oh,
in
wow.
the
Okay.
middle. Yeah, that's where we played
Yeah.
all our games:
Yeah,
footy,
right.
tennis, cricket, the BMX, everything. Yeah, so
Of
street
course.
footy. Yeah.
Middle of the road.
Who
Yeah,
else has done that?
absolutely.
I'd love to know, because I know you can buy a fancy version of this now,
Of
and
course you can. Yeah.
it's like a proper version of it. But back in the olden days, we just had to make do with mum's stockings.
Mum's gusset. Is that what they're called? No. Stockings. Oh, sorry. I don't know.
Talk about your auntie's gusset like that.
Sorry. No, that's terrible. But of course, there were board games. I don't think, as a kid, I don't think I ever finished a single game of Monopoly.
Who
I don't think
has?
I didn't finish a game until I was an adult, really, and I
Yeah.
got beaten anyway. But I used to play with my brother, and I'd steal from the bank just to try and keep things afloat,
Good on you.
But we played that. But of course, there was consequences and
Yeah.
all those sorts of games. But
Yeah.
I was never really that good at sport. But I gave them a crack. There was
Yes.
indoor cricket, basketball, football. I did get a trophy in 1984 for gymnastics. Have I mentioned that before?
No, you haven't. Where is that
It's the
trophy?
I don't. I think it broke. I don't know. I think it broke.
Oh,
But in 1984, I got the gymnastics trophy for most improved,
okay, fair enough.
which I figure that means they're like, well, you're not as crap as you were at the start of the year,
No,
but you're still crap. So here, have a trophy.
bit of a legend, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Bit of a legend
absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
Did I mention that the Nicholas Grove gang, we had street footy and cricket, and just outside our house were the goalposts, right? So
What
there
were
was
the
a tree, and the lamp post, or hang on, Stobie pole,
Oh,
right?
Stevie Bowl.
For
Yeah,
the Adelaide listeners.
yeah.
And so, yeah, right out the front of our house. And we would have teams. So, you'd get picked for, who's going to be on Moose's team or who's going to be on Brad's team or whatever. So it was, and then being the girls, we always got picked last, even though, we were good. We were good. But one of the funnest games that we used to play, and we played this for hours on end, and I don't know if anyone remembers this game, it's called Kickstone. It's kind of like an upgraded hide and seek. So basically, not everyone might know this, but let me kind of explain it to you. There's a person that guards the stone on the footpath, right? And everyone he closes his eyes, everyone has to go and hide. And then when he turns around after counting up to whatever, and then he'll go, Kristy, I see you behind Moose's front fence. And then if he's picked you, you have to go, okay, then you're released, right? You have to go and stand with the person till he finds everybody. But the sneaky thing is, people that were still hiding managed to sneak out, they jump over fences and under trees and around cars and all that sort of stuff, and then kick the stone away from the person who wasn't looking,
Oh
It's
yeah,
really,
right.
really sneaky. And then that would release all of the people that he'd captured. So it was
okay.
a really fun game. Yeah, it was really,
That
really
sounds
cool.
good.
And that was called Kickstone. So it was kind of chaos, but it was like it had to be a bit strategic. So you had to kind of be sneaky and stealth like and kind of release all of your mates. But it was always pretty crap if you were the one that had to, I can see you, Ben, hiding behind Neville's front fence. And like, no, I'm not. Yes, I can see you.
No, I'm not. Yeah. That's not me. That's not me.
So you had to be really good at hiding and then coming to kick the stone away. Had you heard of that game before?
I have not. Like when you said Kickstone, it sounds like something people played during the Depression. So I don't know. I've never heard of Kickstone.
It
So,
might be another name for it. But
yeah.
yeah, so you drew the short straw if you were the one that had to go, like
Do the finding.
Yeah, because that was really hard because
kind of
everyone would cheat anyway.
Of course, they'd move.
Yeah. I can see you, Moose, under Beba's front
caravan.
fence. Yeah, it's like it's not me. So it was really good fun. But they were excellent days.
Yeah. We've got some honourable mentions. Or no,
Yeah.
have you got some more? Because
No, I reckon I had a whole bunch. We've deleted out a whole heap because
we
otherwise
played
this
heaps.
podcast would be like 4 hours long.
We'll just go on forever. But of course, I'm playing basketball now, as you know. And
Yes.
Speaking of getting picked, and I went to the courts the other day. There's a local rec centre where our club can go and use the courts on a particular day just to practice, and so they'll keep some courts free for us. So I went along, and I'm like the old guy. I'm the oldest guy in our team. I'm probably the oldest guy in the league, and all these young guys were there and like, do you want to play 3-on-3? I said, yeah, that'd be great. I need the practice. And playing with younger people is always a good thing because they're so fit and fast and so good at it.
Yeah.
And so they were picking, like there's only literally 6 of us, 2 captains, and they had to pick 4 people to fill the 2 teams of 3. And I kept getting picked last. They're like, oh yeah, Shona. All right, come on. But so I tried to contribute. It was good. But
I'm sure you were really, really good.
This is just like primary school.
Maybe it's the beard.
Maybe I'm too scary.
Beard. Yeah, because makes like it's got grey in it, and if you're playing with kids that are 14, they might think it was grandpa.
You might think, oh, who's grandpa? Yeah, grandpa's playing basketball. Jeez.
So I don't know.
Never mind.
Diet purple, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, like the old guys do. Yeah, it's natural.
I'll get a ponytail.
Yeah, grow it out as my hair recedes at the front. Just make it longer at the back. Yeah, baby.
I'll grow your beard and then plait it.
Yeah. There was a footy player last night that had a plait playing for one of the teams, Hawthorn maybe.
Okay.
A little rat's tail thing at the top.
Oh yeah.
Rat's tails are making a comeback. Speaking of the 80s.
Yeah, I had one of them. I'm not going back there ever.
Yeah.
So what other honourable mentions did we have?
Well, in the lead up to in my research for this episode, we asked family and friends, and they came through with the goods. I mean,
did they?
So many things came through, but your mum gave us a whole bunch. Some of the things that you would recognise: hopscotch, pick-up sticks, hoops, brandy, hoppo bumpo. I don't know what that is.
And there's heaps here.
And also, they mentioned my dad and your mum both mentioned. Well, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? I guess, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, but, right.
She said Daddy Wolfie, which is weird.
Something else.
Yeah, what's the time, Daddy Wolfie? Okay. Sounds a little bit different. But they both mentioned donkey, and I have no idea what donkey is, so I've asked them to explain that. Yeah. But my in-laws grew up in the country, so country life was totally different. So when I said, what did you guys get up to when you were kids? They said things like, we used to shoot pigeons in the barn. We used to go and, we used to have to go and try and catch rabbits with our bare hands and all sorts of stuff. And my father-in-law, if I can just quickly mention, he has told this story many times, but they lived in the York Peninsula where there was lots of old copper mines.
Yep.
And so there was this area where there was a lime kiln. It's basically a disused factory, and it had big piles of waste product, and it was very dark and very, very spooky. So what him and his friend would do is they'd have to walk past the lime kiln. One got to walk on the road, and the other had to run through the lime kiln, and they'd see who would win.
Oh,
And
no.
then the next time they did it, they'd swap, and it was so scary. It was
Yeah,
such a
can
creepy thing to do.
imagine. Yeah.
So they used to run through the lime kiln quite a bit, which sounds like a spooky thing to do when you're like 10 years old.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that sounds fun. But yeah, shooting pigeons in the barn.
Shooting pigeons. What did Mum do? Mum had tadpoling. I didn't know Mum went tadpoling. That
Yeah,
sounds
that's
very,
kind of
very
cool.
Huckleberry Finn.
Building a fort.
You know, yeah, elastics, skipping, double dutch, hopscotch, all of that stuff is coming through on the text line.
I want to know more
and
about Daddy Wolfie.
what's the time, Mr. Wolf? Did you play that?
Yeah, and then he says something, and then you got to creep up.
It's dinner time. Yeah, so you'd say they'd turn around, and the rest of the people would go, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?" And he would say, the person would say 3 o'clock. So you take steps 1, 2, 3. So everyone's getting closer to the wolf.
Okay.
And then what's the time? 4 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 4, and then everyone gets really close to the wolf. And then you say, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?" And he goes, "Dinner time," and he turns around and runs, and everyone just screams like idiots, and they have to try and get back behind the initial start line before Daddy Wolfie gets you.
Oh.
Yeah,
Daddy Wolfie.
and if Daddy Wolfie gets you, then you're next. You're then the wolf. It was like Red Rover all over and all those sorts of things. Yeah.
Back at those games, they shaped so much of our childhoods, but we didn't need much, did we, Ben? We just needed a bit of imagination, a bat and a ball, and a bunch of kids willing to kind of play and get stuck in and get dirty. You know, everyone always had bruises or cuts or knees bleeding or something, so it was always really good fun.
Having said that, I did love sitting on my ass watching TV. That was that was also one of my favourite things to do. I would watch TV. Anything that was funny, I would watch. I watched all the American sitcoms. I just loved it. I just soaked it up. We didn't really have video games, and we didn't have a video player until I was about 10. But I loved a bit of TV. Absolutely. But yeah, there was lots of outside playing, and it's funny how you're just trying to get this generation to do that more, and it is a struggle for parents. Absolutely. This is not a parenting podcast, so I'm not about to give anyone any advice.
No.
Okay, but needless to say that we did have a lot of fun, and we also have a lot of listeners from overseas and in other parts of the world, different ages. We would love to know what you did. Like, are you saying, okay, I live in Canada, and those games, I played the exact same games, or did you
have a different name?
Play something else? Like, there'd be snow-related games that we never played. We never made snowmen.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, well, that's a great idea, Ben. Why don't you drop us a line? We'd love to hear from you, and always we'd love to hear where you're listening in from too. So, I mean, even though I know that from the back end.
Stats alert. Yeah.
How about we just say thanks so much for listening? Remember, you guys can all follow us on Instagram or Facebook, and now you can also find us on the Great Australian Pod Directory. Also, we're on Amazon Music, YouTube Music. We're going everywhere, Ben. That's why the downloads are going off the Richter, right? Melting the internet.
Sharing the love.
Yeah, so we've got our YouTube channel, which is you can just search for us, Two Cousins One Chat. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a message. We'd love to hear from you and where you're watching in from.
I think the music's probably playing us out about now.
Yeah, it's probably cut off.
That country twang people, listening. Hopefully you got to this stage of the show.
Take it easy.
Bye. Okay,
bye,
ta-da. Bye for now. Ta-da. See ya. All right, bye.